There's an infinite opportunity to see something, be something new. You just have to be in the right place. Kutztown University, where you won't just get accepted, you'll belong. Visit www.kutztown.edu/roar for more information.
Kutztown Live. KUR's campus and community interest radio magazine. You can always be a part of Kutztown Live by giving us a call at 610-683-4859. And now, this is Kutztown Live.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Welcome to Kutztown Live, a show about Kutztown University and the most agreeable town of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. I'm your host, as always, DJ Aaron B., joined by my co-host.
Me, Josh.
That's you.
That is me.
What do we got going on today, Josh?
Today, for our first segment, we have our bi-weekly guest, Lori from the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. How are you doing today, Lori?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me, Aaron and Josh. I appreciate it.
Anytime. So you have your guest, Dr. Sam Yoder, with you?
Well, you know I'm ready to share some information about upcoming activities at the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. And then, yes, I will invite my special guest into the studio to talk about Silver Maple Veterinary Clinic.
Okay.
So before I introduce Dr. Sam, let me tell you that although we're nearing the end of 2019, we have a slate of activities and programs scheduled for the Northeast Berks Chamber, which is located right here in downtown Kutztown inside the BB&T Bank building. Coming up in November on the 15th, we have our monthly breakfast meeting that will be held at Keystone Villa at Fleetwood. And we're very excited to host for a third consecutive year our Giving Tree project in December. That will be held on December 6th at the Chamber office. These activities and all of our programs, events, and networking activities can be found at northeastberkschamber.com. Just let me say that the Giving Tree Project is a way to invite our nonprofit members, and about 9% of our membership is large and small nonprofit organizations, to share their donation requests for the holidays with our membership. This year, we will be setting up a tree at Keystone Villa at Fleetwood on November 15th, and that tree will have angel ornaments hanging on it. We encourage our members and other visitors to the Chamber office to pick up one of those ornaments. And then on December 6th, we will host a holiday potluck, and we have quite a few members that will participate as guests, and we allow our nonprofit members to share information about their mission and upcoming programs, and on that day they will collect the donations that our members have purchased for them. So again, we're very excited about that. Today's the deadline for nonprofits to participate, and we have 11 this year as of today, unless I get any new ones by 5 o'clock. So that's what's coming up, but we also have a schedule of monthly programs from January through May that was just published today. So again, please stay current with our chamber happenings at northeastberkschamber.com. As you know, every other week here in the studio, I introduce our listening audience to one of our chamber members. I'm very proud and happy to announce today that we have Dr. Sam Yoder, who is one of the founders of Silver Maple Veterinary Clinic, a member of our chamber for the last few months. And Dr. Yoder, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we just met each other recently, just a few weeks ago, because you kindly invited the Chamber to conduct a ribbon cutting on October 4th to celebrate the expansion of your facility. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Silver Maple and what's happened with your recent renovation?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is everybody, you students out there should know you have such a cool radio station and such cool DJ staff here, and you should be lucky.
Thank
you.
All right. So, Silver Maple Veterinary Clinic, I grew up in Kutztown, believe it or not. Graduated from the high school in 1978, and so I know all about and seen all the changes of KU. And you guys are lucky to have such a campus to go to. Silver Maple Veterinary Clinic was started from scratch here back in my hometown after veterinary school with my wife, who's also a veterinarian, in 1987. and we've been in this area hammering away, saving animals left and right, and fixing bones and everything else we can do. And we've always tried to help the KU students. We also give them a 10% discount because we are also sensitive to the expenses that you guys, well, we were also poor students at one time too, so come out and see us. The renovation we just did, which is the capstone really to our career, is that we've put a new addition on, so that the cool thing about our practice is we're a non-corporate entity in the sense that we're a family-run business. A lot of the veterinary businesses this day and age are being manipulated by corporate entities which aren't really your family-run businesses that are in your community. So we're people that live here and know you and see you. So we have abilities to do major types of surgeries, ultrasounds, radiographs, lasers, endoscopy, acupuncture. We pretty well hit it all, and if we don't know what's going on, we could send you to the right person. So we're excited about our new facility, which we just renovated, and it's all complete, and we're down past where the airport used to be, past Kunkel's, and we're ready to see you.
Well, it was very exciting for me because although I drive by your facility every day of the week, which is beautiful, by the way, I was able to step inside on October 4th. And I believe you shared with me that you have a separate waiting area for cats and dogs. Is that correct?
Right, we do. That's like new stuff to decrease the stress for the kitty cats especially. So we have a separate dog waiting room and a separate cat area. We also have a separate dog treatment room and a separate cat treatment room. And one other thing I forgot to say is this is an art college as well. And we had an artist, Kathy Ember, who actually went to KU, and she did a whole mural on the wall. So if anybody wants to come down and see that mural that she painted of all types of animals, come down and take a peek.
It's a beautiful mural. It's a very welcoming and bright facility. So congratulations on your renovation.
Thank you.
Now, I also learned when I was there on October 4th that you have a new nonprofit component to your operation called the Mooch Fund. And sitting beside me, in addition to Dr. Sam, we also have Ann Criswell. And Ann, you handle the development activities for the Mooch Fund. Is that correct?
I guess I would say that I'm new to the staff, and doing some consulting for Sam and Anne Marie Yoder, because it's kind of interesting. Sam was treating our dog Isabel, and she was coming to the end of her life, and Sam just did a beautiful job with helping us make that decision. And we were in and out, and I said to Sam, and he was building, right, and all this was happening, and I said to him, "What are you going to do, Sam? What are you going to do when, you're going to have a grand opening?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, Sam, I said, you could really, grow the Mooch Fund. You could give people an opportunity to make a gift in honor of and memorial in their beloved pets. And so we continued that conversation after Isabel passed away. And with that, Sam, he's so open and so willing to think about things that are good for the animals, for this community and surrounding communities. And so he and I kind of put our heads together with the help of his amazing office manager, Jamie. And over the last couple months, we've created what we think will be a fantastic opportunity for this area. And that's going to be a rather large campaign. And I'm going to let Sam talk more about that.
Sam, tell us about the campaign.
Well, the main thing is we should really back up and talk about what the Mooch Fund is and why it's called the Mooch Fund. It's actually back in probably about 2005, 2006, somewhere in that zone, a local client brought a big male orange cat, Tom, to us, and she would always be feeding it, and the neighbors would be feeding it, and the neighbors down the street would be feeding it. So that's where he got the name Mooch, but he became our clinic cat. So again, clinic cats have responsibilities too. They got to give blood sometimes for animals that need that. And so he was an item that was a part of our clinic for a number of years, and then he died, became old, and we continued a fund in his name called the Mooch Fund, which was mainly to try to help people who initially our goal was to help people finance some of the costs of procedures to make a better outcome on a lot of cases, instead of, I'm sorry, I can't afford that, I've got to put the cat to sleep, or if it has a broken bone and they just couldn't afford it. And so we started out by helping people out with that. But now we want to grow it more. We've done a lot of cases in the past. I'll give you one example. We had a kitty cat that the owner was down in Philly, and the cat got into a string, which is the worst thing for kitties, eating strings, and the intestines were problems, and she couldn't find surgery. That it was really expensive. And the bottom line is the cat eventually came to us. We helped her out, fixed up the cat, and she paid her 50% roughly, and we gave a scholarship to help the outcome of this cat named Twig, and the cat's doing great. But now we want to grow this, because instead of just providing these scholarships for urgent veterinary care, we also wanted to do other things. The main thing was also adding on educational things and promoting the humane treatment of animals, but having educational sort of like venues. The other two that are really exciting is we wanted to provide scholarships, get money to provide scholarships to support future veterinary technicians and doctors, veterinarians in the future that want to go to school, because it's definitely, college, as you guys know, is not cheap. The other thing we're excited to try to do is to create some kind of mobile veterinary outreach service where we have a mobile vehicle so we can go out, beyond what, sort of like the Humane Society does, which they do a great job, but also going out to the source of problems, spaying, lots of neutering all kinds of cats out on the farms, trying to help animals that are maybe in the field. So we're trying to get a grant and hopefully can get money to afford a mobile veterinary outreach unit in the future. But one more thing I want to at least read, I have to read it because it's better to do that, our vision. And the vision for this new Mooch Fund is to provide education in order to save lives, ensure animal wellness and care, and build communities that celebrate the intrinsic value of animals, and consistently make choices that demonstrate compassion and respect. And our goal is really to service Berks, Lehigh, and Schuylkill counties. And as you guys know out there, we see a lot of college students with kittens and with dogs. These guys are your best allies in life, and there's no question animals are really special.
Well, Dr. Sam and Ann, I have to say you have a very ambitious mission, but it's a very important one, and I wish you all the success in obtaining some grant funding for some of those objectives. And I'm already thinking about some ways that we can partner with the Chamber and the Chamber members to fulfill some of your mission. We have many animal lovers in our Chamber, and we have quite a few organizations, for-profit and non-profit, that provide animal-related services or products. So I can see a good synergy with some of our other members. So thank you for sharing that information with us. If we have a listener who wants to get in touch with Silver Maple, the clinic, or the nonprofit organization, can you please provide your contact information and website?
Okay, first of all, for the veterinary clinic is 610-683-7988, but I know you guys don't really use phones I use phones for texting and other stuff, but you can go to the website. It's S as in Sam, M as in M, Mooch, V as in veterinary, C as in clinic, .com, and also the Mooch Fund, which is, again, one more time, is a nonprofit 501c3 sort of arm of our clinic, and we are. That you can reach us at the same phone number, 610-683-7988, and you can talk to Jamie, or you can reach us at we have a website called the moochfund.org, and that's MOOCH, themoochfund.org. One other thing I wanted to mention, though, is college students. We're looking for college students to build our team to help out, especially ones that can do digital marketing and are interested in helping us reach out to the community at large. So we're looking for help, and we're going to have a meeting in November. So any college students that are interested in helping out and joining, this is really a wonderful opportunity to be involved with the pet community in this area.
Well, again, thank you so much. If you could leave the listeners with one tip or piece of advice about pet ownership, what would it be?
Well, the most important thing is, in my past, some people always get too many animals. So, focus on owning a pet, one at the beginning, and really taking good care, learning about nutrition, learning and being experienced about what the animal's care is. May it be a rabbit, may it be a guinea pig, may it be a cat or dog. You should educate yourself also, and then get yourself in touch with a professional, either a veterinarian or someone else, so you can understand what are the best things in the sense of nutrition and health and vaccines, etc., that the animal should have.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Sam, and thank you, Ann. Appreciate your time, and I think we've gotten to know much more about Silver Maple Veterinary Clinic.
Dr. Sam, Ann, and Lori, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited to see where the Mooch Fund goes from here, and I'm really excited when I'm financially stable enough to get a dog. I'm excited to see you, Dr. Sam.
It's great to see you guys, and you guys again out there are lucky, because these guys, they got it together in here, and this is a cool station. You got to get it hooked up to the big antenna up on the hill there, so you can go all the way to Philly.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, everyone. We're going to head to a quick break now, but when we come back, we will be joined by esteemed KUR member Jenna Foley, here to talk about the Kutztown University Marching Unit. You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Make sure you stay tuned in till after the break.
Whoever said half the fun is getting there had to be a Cub Scout. Because the only thing more exciting than being awarded a badge is the once-in-a-lifetime experience that went into earning it. From hitting his first bullseye to toasting his first marshmallow, a Cub Scout can take part in tons of activities that bring the perfect mix of unforgettable fun and essential life lessons. To learn more about how scouting can make a difference in your son's life, visit beascout.org. Scouting, prepared for life.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have bought with it. Visit EnergySavers.gov and get tips on how to save energy and money. Then do things like switch to Energy Star light bulbs or Energy Star appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars a year. So this doesn't happen to the recliner you've had your eye on, or this to the treadmill on your wish list, or this to the shiny new bike your kid's been asking for. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Live from the Kutztown studio in the MSU at Kutztown University, it's Kutztown Live.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. As always, I'm your host, DJ Aaron B., joined by my beautiful co-host,
Joshua Kaplan.
That's you.
That is me.
It's nice to see you here again, always by my side.
Always.
Now, our guest for this segment is Jenna Foley from the Kutztown University Marching Unit. How are you today, Jenna?
I am doing very well. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Esteemed KUR member Jenna Foley came to join us today. Thank you so much. Now, Jenna, what instrument do you play?
So I am on the drum line, and I'm part of the bass line. I play bass drum 4.
Oh, well, that's cool. That sounds like it's fun.
Yeah.
Do you
it's
like
very
doing
fun.
like percussion?
Yeah, I've been playing percussion actually since 4th grade. And of course, I took up marching band in high school, and I played bass drum 4 there. And then I was lucky enough to become drum major my junior and senior year, which that means like the conductor of the band, as well as being playing the tenors, which are like multiple drums on one.
Oh, nice.
So I'm back to bass here, and I'm loving it.
That's great. Now, how many members are in Kumu?
Roughly 150.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
We are the largest student organization on campus.
I could see that. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, what kind of events do you guys do?
So we do all the home games here.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty loud in the morning.
Sorry if we wake you up. And then we also do exhibitions at certain high schools, and then we also do this giant festival at the end of September called the Collegiate Marching Band Festival, which takes a bunch of colleges, like big colleges such as like UMass, Delaware. I know that New Haven comes down. A bunch of like big colleges, they all come down. Westchester comes down, and we all perform our shows like for each other, like sorta to give it a marching band, like a high school marching band competitive feel.
Oh, that's cool.
Like we don't get scored or anything. It's kind of just to show off our show, because there are some college marching bands that switch their show like every 2 weeks. Like I know Rutgers does that, but like we have our show our whole entire year. So it's like kind of to showcase that show.
That's interesting. I didn't know that about the shows and everything. That's cool. Now I know some people that are in the marching unit, and they've told me about your infamous 7 a.m. practices. How have you been coping with those since you joined?
Different than high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were none of those 7:30 a.m. practices, but it's always pretty, especially like now that we're getting kind of later into the season. We see like the sunset, basically, not the sunset, the sunrise, and it's really pretty. And then like we're all out in like all our winter stuff, and then like slowly taking off jackets as the practice continues, because then we're like, oh, it's getting warmer.
At least you're making the most out of it.
Yeah, like we're all just like dead, and like everyone knows that everyone's dead, because like who would want to be awake 7:30 a.m.
I would be truly miserable with no smile in sight, no hope in sight. So I'm glad you can smile about it.
Yeah, one of the past games, the percussion instructor Matt, he brought us all munchkins, and he had written on the side, "Have a great rehearse hole."
That's funny.
Gotta get those puns in.
So can you tell me about Kumu's field show?
Yeah, I'd love to. So this year, it's called Classical Remix. So we're taking a bunch of classical songs and remixing them to like more of a modern feel. And then also vice versa. We're taking a modern song and kind of making it into like a classical sort of like vibe, and like how like that's arranged. So our first song is Pachelbel's Cannon, and we remixed it to make it like a big band sort of feel.
Okay.
And like a pop sort of like feel. And like we have like this whole like dance break sort of thing that's like that the band does, not the drum line. The drum line, we're playing a beat during it, so we gotta be all serious, like, you know. Yeah. So that's our first movement. Our second movement is Für Elise by Beethoven, and that is our percussion heavy song. It's our like not solo but feature, and so each section is featured in it. So in front ensemble is featured, bass line is featured, snare line is featured, quad line is featured, and then cymbals. They're they're a very strong presence within the whole entire song. Okay. And so that we take it and we basically make it dubstep. Which
that's like, interesting.
Like when we say it goes hard, it literally goes hard at the end. Like like the whole build up and like everything. And like we just got a new sound system this year, so like we're really like putting that to its use. Like we're making sure that like we're using like all its bells and whistles, so like we can make the most out of like however many dollars that was worth. But yeah, and then the whole band, like during like the dubstep breakdown, they have like a whole choreographed dance for that, and it's really cool. They do the Whoa, they do the Orange Justice and all that. Like it's cute and it's awesome. Again, I don't see it because like I'm focusing on playing the bass drop and like everything. So that's our second movement, and then our third movement is Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, but then made to sound like fugue. So like it kind of puts it into a round and everything, but then like we go back and forth between it, like being Bad Romance and then also being a classical setting. That's
interesting. Who comes up with that? Is it like a group of people that decide on like what kind of music you guys do?
So at the end of our season, we kind of discuss like what type of shows that we want to do.
Okay.
And with me being a freshman, I'm not exactly sure how this one was thought out, but all the veterans have told me that like they voted on this and like they knew this show going into second semester last year.
Okay.
So like it's like Kumu is a very like heavy like on the student participation and
that's
like
good.
The students having a say.
That's good. That's what you want out of your on-campus organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, for those who like may not know, like didn't do marching band in high school or anything, or aren't familiar with it, could you just like briefly go over like the structure of like a marching band and a marching unit, like how it all comes together?
Yeah, sure. So basically, like if you haven't like really seen a marching band ever, like we have a field show, like I just talked about, and there are different types of marching band. Like there's a military style, kind of like how we are, and then there's a drum corps style. Like there's like other band. I forget exactly which band, but there's a band that we saw at Collegiate that has more of like a DCI vibe. It was probably Westchester. But like we have a more military style band, like my high school did as well. And like we have commands and everything, and like we have certain songs that we play in a field show, and then we have stand tunes. We have our fight song. We have our pregame show that like everyone hears. You probably hear us blaring the fight song, like the 55-5 game last Saturday. It was literally like every other minute. It's like fight song. We're like, oh, geez. But like it's a lot of fun. Definitely, it is a lot of work, but it's paid. Like work pays off because like I mean I don't know if you've seen our show, but like our show, like I'm so proud to be a small part of this show.
Yeah, of course.
And like it's a very good like thing like. Rewarding wise because like you put so much time and effort into it, and then like you get to see it because a bunch of people post videos of it, and like you get to see like right there like that's a product that I helped make.
Now I'm glad you started talking about like how you're happy with the group, because that kind of leads into like my next question of like I know you're only a freshman, but it sounds like you've made some like good memories with Kumu so far. So like, what are your favorites? Like, if you care to share.
Oh, just anything the drumline does. Like, we all like have one collective brain cell, honestly, but like in a good way, and it's just so funny. Like our group chat, like is the funniest thing on Snapchat. We just like send photos of each other and like just being like going to class, or like we like see each other like going to class and like we'll zoom in on them and be like spotted, there you are, or like we'll just like the other night we were like talking about like the World Series because my friend Noah and I, sorry, we're Yankee fans. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Wow, that's terrible.
But like we were talking about that and like how they lost to the Astros, and like it was like a whole thing in there. And then my friend Casey on the quad line, my friend Nate who's base 5, they go to the gym like every day, so they have like Nerds Take Gym, and I think they're on like part 30 or something. So like that's just like a consecutive thing, and like just all the jokes and everything is so funny. And then in general with Kumu, like sorry, in general with Kumu, it's just been like a total blast because like I'm just a very like social butterfly. Yeah. So like I've been like seeing other sections, and like I hang out with the low brass a lot. I have friends in the guard because I have a little bit of like twirling baton experience, and also twirling drum major mace, which is similar to rifle. So I have friends in the twirlers and and in the guard. I have friends in the clarinets. Like I have friends all over, and it's so cool to be able to make all these friends, especially coming into school. Like we were here a full 10 days before the rest of like the student body was here basically, and it was so nice like having these friends and being able to see them on campus, especially since we're the largest student organization on campus. Like I see at least 4 people from Kumu like as I'm walking around to like just one class.
I could imagine.
Yeah, so it's like so nice to be able to see them and just like wave and be like, hey, have a great day, see you at Kumu. And like it's just great, like the friendly aspect of it, and like it's something that I love and will continue to keep doing here.
That's great. It's good to be happy with your groups. Like I know I've loved KUR since the second I joined it. So
yeah, I mean same with that. Like I love KUR. Like I love both of it, and it's cool because like I have like Angelo to talk about because he obviously did a year of Kumu, and then like and then also like bringing in a few things that we do in Kumu here. Like I introduced Angelo to how to make a milkshake, and then Laura made a milkshake yesterday, and I'm like, milkshakes are coming to KUR, and so like it's cool how it can overlap so easily too.
Now, do you have any aspirations to become a section leader in Kumu?
I will actually be trying out for drum major this coming semester.
Oh really? That's awesome.
I tried out. Oh, thank you. I tried out going into my sophomore, going into my junior, and going into my senior year of high school. I only made it junior and senior, but I believe that's good to get my feet in the water and be like, hey, I want to do this, so I'm going to show you what I can do. And if I don't get it this year, then that's completely fine. I'll try out for I'll try out for drumline again and hopefully make drumline again. But I'll somehow be part of Kumu, so then the following year I can try out again and be like, this is where I've improved.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're all rooting for you here.
Thank you so much.
Everyone at Kutztown Live, me and Josh. That's all you really need.
Yeah, you guys are my backbone right
That's
there.
the biggest support.
Yeah. Now, can you tell me about the tournament of bands that you guys are going to on Sunday?
Yeah, so that's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And so we have 2 times that we will be performing at. We were performing at 11 a.m. for the morning half of the tournament, and then we will be performing at 5:45 p.m. Respectively for the second half of the tournament, which are usually like the bigger bands because like they're in certain groups by scale size of their bands.
Okay.
And so we will be performing our field show there, and that's a big recruitment time. The same with the exhibitions that we do, but it's a big recruitment time because a lot like of our members at one point in time saw Kutztown perform, and they were like, I want to go to KU, I want to be in Kumu, I want to do that, like exactly that. So it's a big like recruitment part of like the Kumu like aspect.
Yeah.
And then like we also get to like kind of chill, and like we get to see some of the high school bands, and then drumline will be performing in the lot twice, so a bunch of like drum lines can come and watch us warm up and like just play through our stuff, because like sometimes it's hard to distinguish like the whole show then versus just like one section. So it's good that we get to warm up in the lot, and like so people can just hear drumline and see how we do things, because we do things like a slightly different way than the rest of Kumu. So it's really cool that we get like high schoolers that are going to be coming up to us and watching us.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Now, Jenna, as we start to wrap up the interview, my last question for you is just, how can students get involved with the Kutztown University Marching Unit?
So for this season, it is too late to join, but definitely for our next upcoming season, which would be the 2020 to 2021 season, definitely keep a lookout. We'll start making announcements second semester of this year, and it'll just be like when we have tryouts for drumline, when we have tryouts for color guard, twirlers, and then how you can join the regular band, because I believe anyone can join the regular band. You just have to talk to Dr. Nguyenchwander to it. Congrats to Daniel Nguyenchwander on becoming a doctor. Woo.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll love to see someone get their doctorate.
Yeah, he announced it like 2 weeks ago, and we all like went crazy. We're like, yes!
Never going to be there, but
no, I believe in you.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, thanks, Josh. On that note, I think it's about time we head to a break after I've been insulted by my co-host. But thank you so much for coming on, Jenna. You were great. I hope people got to learn about the marching unit. And I hope anyone interested comes and checks you guys out next semester.
Thank you. Could I quickly plug our Instagrams?
Of course. Plug anything.
All right. So our Instagrams, we have a bunch of them. We have at KU_drumline. Then we have at KU.SN, at KU.UBS, at KU.UDS, at KUCYM, and at KU.front ensemble. So
wow.
Each section has their
yeah.
own. I run the bass drum Instagram. It's a whole thing. And then just follow the regular Kumu Instagram. So
I hope our listeners had a notepad.
And when can we be hearing you on Kutztown University Radio?
Oh my God, yeah, my show. That's a thing. You guys can listen to me Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. to Jenna's Jukebox Jam. Next week, it's going to be awesome. I will probably be having one of my friends from the drumline on the show. We're going to be talking about some music. We'll probably talk about Hershey. And we're probably just going to be vibing the whole night.
Sick. Well, check it out. What else are you doing on a Tuesday?
What else? Yeah, I mean, at 10 p.m., man, you could just be vibing with me. Or
yeah, go check out Jenna's show.
No.
You're not doing anything. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Do it.
Well, you're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. We're going to head to a break. Make sure you stick around till after.
Welcome to the Indie Film Minute. The Fits showed up in theaters for an instant, then faded into memory like a dream. Fitting, as the film itself is dreamlike, contemplative, insightful, visual poetry at times, and at others, a sensitive coming-of-age story. You might remember the news stories which must have inspired this film. In 2012, girls at a high school in Leroy, New York suddenly started having unexplained seizures, such as the backbone of the fits. But what could have become a medical detective story gratefully becomes something more universal. Young Tony, a pre-adolescent on the cusp, diligently trains with her brother as a boxer at the local community center. There she observes the Lionesses, a fierce championship dance team. These are the older girls, and she is drawn to their world. Soon after joining, one of the leaders has a seizure. It is the talk of the troop. Another leader succumbs. One by one, the girls fall. They become. We are in the world of metaphor. The Fits asks more of its audience than the average film. It bravely raises questions without spoon-feeding answers, leaving much room for thought and contemplation. Easy entertainment? Perhaps not. But this rich, surreal journey has its own rewards. The Fits. Not in theaters. Discovery through rental.
You like video games? Of course you do, so come listen to 1.1, Thursdays 3 to 4, where I talk about video games and their soundtrack, the most underrated part of video games. So if you like video games and the music, this is the place for you. Again, it's Thursdays 3 to 4. This is DJ, also known as DJ, here at KUR, the radio voice of Kutztown University.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, DJ Aaron B., joined by my co-host,
the illustrious Joshua Kaplan.
That's you. Josh, we got breaking news.
We got breaking news. There's a steam leak in BAME right now.
Right now?
Right now. Maybe it might have been resolved by now, but a couple minutes ago, there was a steam leak.
As of 10 minutes ago, there was a steam leak in BAME.
There was a steam leak in BAME, and I don't know if I should be... I don't know if that's something to be afraid of. I don't know if they're just letting us know.
You made the point while we were on break when we were talking about it that isn't a steam leak just a sauna?
A steam leak is just a sauna, I'd say. But then our bouncer... Our KU studio bouncer informed us that it would hurt the drywall.
Now, who cares about drywall?
Yeah, I care about the people.
I care about the people as well. Drywall's replaceable. A Kutztown University student, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah.
Now, I actually think this is a good follow-up from a talk you and I had a couple weeks ago.
Is it? Is it about the parking lot?
No.
Because we've talked about that.
We've talked about that a lot. We're not talking about the parking lot. But I think it's a good follow-up to when we were talking a couple weeks ago about getting like timely warnings from Kutztown.
We're talking about crime again?
Well, like, we're not talking about crime like per se, but this is just a thing. Like, I'm gonna assume the steam leak just happened, and they got out like this quick email, like just letting everyone know it was happening. Like, I think that's good. I think that's the communication we need. I don't know why.
I would agree with you.
I don't know why that kind of communication didn't happen with the Dixon situation we talked about a couple weeks ago. But, you know, that's good. I'm glad the student body was notified immediately about this.
I'm sure it's because they were listening to Kutztown Live.
I'm sure it's because they were listening to Kutztown Live, and they said, these two guys, they have a lot to say.
They're right.
We should listen to these guys.
Yeah.
Now, I actually had something else to talk about. Actually, a couple things, but one of them is something that was just announced by my department here at Kutztown University, the ever-lovely Cinema, Television, and Media Department, and they're actually putting on a mental health awareness film festival soon. I really want to get them to talk about it more at length, like as we get closer to the event, but I think it's something worth talking about now just because they just announced it, and it's definitely something to be excited about. They're putting on a film festival, so they'll have awards for Best Overall, Best Documentary, Best Music Video, and Best Narrative. And the films actually have to be mental health related, and they'll be selected by the in-house judges. Now, I think that's great, and and this event will it'll raise money for mental health awareness, and the proceeds are going to the Concern Professional Services. And I think that's a good thing to be having on this campus, Josh.
I could say that's a good thing to have at any college campus.
Yeah, that's an interesting
mental health
thing.
Awareness. It's good to keep around.
Yeah, and it's incorporating it with one of our biggest growing majors here at Kutztown, which is the CTM department, which ever since it got rebranded as the Cinema, Television, and Media Department, it's actually grown a lot. my freshman class last year, we were the biggest that the CTM department has ever gotten, and the department's only going to continue to grow and put on cool events like this. They've thrown a bunch of film festivals this year. This is like the third one.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're only in the first semester, so that's pretty cool. And they last year, I'm pretty sure they only put on one, and it was just like the regular one that they do in the second semester. But now they're doing them for causes. This is cool.
That
this is
changes
great.
everything.
Yeah, this is what I like to hear out of my university. So that I believe that event is taking place. I know the submissions are due by November 28th, so definitely before that date, we're going to get someone on from the organization or from the department to come talk about it. And actually, there's another film festival going on here.
What?
Yeah, it's at the MSU on Wednesday, November 6th. To my knowledge, this one is not put on by the CTM department. I don't know what organization's putting it on, but it's in MSU 183 on Wednesday, November 6th, and it's the Indigenous Peoples Film Festival. It's a film festival focusing more on Native American culture and heritage. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I think a Wednesday is certainly an odd day to throw it.
I would agree. I'd say that sounds like more of a weekend type situation, but a Wednesday, I'd say there's no better day than Wednesday for anything.
I guess frankly. So. It's going on all day. It's I believe it's an 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Event, so it's obviously like a stop in, stop out, come back sort of deal. So I certainly am gonna check it out. That sounds very interesting. There's not a lot of films, especially popular films about Native Americans and their struggles and just of their people in general. So it definitely something interesting to look forward to and talk about. Now that about rounds up all of our on-campus news for this segment. It's been kind of slow since homecoming.
Yeah.
You know, homecoming just kind of comes. It beats everyone,
and
it was just back to back with Halloween this year. Halloween was yesterday.
That is true.
And homecoming and Halloween, the university put on so many events for those, and so many on-campus organizations put on so many events. It's just going to be a slow time. It's just kind of a cruise to the end of the semester at this point. It really feels.
I would not call it a cruise from an academic standpoint.
From an academic standpoint, it is fighting up a hill.
Tsunami. It is
an absolute travesty.
It is Herculean, I would say.
It is a Herculean task to get through this semester, but we will get through it, and there will be more on-campus events, more on-campus goings on that Josh and I will of course cover here on Kutztown Live. But that's about all we have for on-campus now. So we're going to head to a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we have some stuff to talk about with the community. You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Make sure you stick around till after the break.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
Okay, here goes. I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than I do about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like PB&J, pigs in a blanket. Oh, and fish sticks. They do love fish sticks. Fillets I get, but sticks? What part of the fish does the stick come from? I know I can read a cookbook that'll tell me how to make a red wine reduction. But where are the cookbooks that can teach me how to cut the crusts off bologna sandwiches? Oh, maybe we can compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with brie? Everybody likes brie, right?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to push your food around their plate. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is Foreign Languages Made Easy, Speaking and Understanding Teenager.
Phrase 1.
There were stacks of heads chiseling in the heezy.
Translation.
There were many people relaxing in the house.
Phrase 2.
His whip is a janky hoopty.
Translation.
His automobile is less than desirable.
You may not understand your kids, but they understand you. Talk to them about drugs. Need help? Get help. Visit drugfree.org.
Partnership for a Drug-Free America and Drug-Free Pennsylvania.
Once upon a time, in a small cottage, lived a boy named Chuck. One day, Chuck heard a knock from inside the wall.
Who is it?
He cried, for Chuck cried rather easily.
It is I, the energy hog over here,
said a voice. Now, an energy hog is what you have when people waste energy. Chuck ran to tell his family.
There's a hog in our house,
exclaimed Chuck.
That's no way to talk about your Aunt Melba,
said his mother, and sent him to his room.
That does it,
said Chuck. He raced to his computer and logged on to energyhog.org.
I'll just have to get rid of it myself.
At energyhog.org, Chuck played cool games and learned to use energy wisely. He learned that by switching to better light bulbs, he had the power to rid the cottage of the evil energy hog forever.
I'm leaving, but I shall return,
vowed the hog.
Don't count on it, Bacon Breath,
vowed Chuck. And the moral of the story is, to use energy wisely, log on to energyhog.org, or a switch in time saves swine.
This public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
It's Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us.
Did you ever wonder what it was like to not be able to pull out your phone and open the Maps app? Hi, my name is Emily Clements, and I'm going to tell you an easier way to navigate. Not knowing what a GPS was, ocean travelers had to find some other way to guide their ship across the water. The North Star Polaris points directly at true north, which is that bright star you always see in the sky but never know why it's always there. To locate the North Star, you need to find the plow, which is the stars of the Big Dipper that all point directly to the current North Star. It is important to know that Polaris does not rotate. It stays in one spot while all the other stars rotate around it. Natural Navigator said, the stars can act as our lampposts. When you are traveling, all you must do is find the North Star and follow it. This will lead you towards the north. True north lies directly underneath the North Pole, which most people seem to forget. After locating the North Star, now you can begin to find your way. Another possible way of knowing where you are is to find your latitude. No matter where you are in the northern hemisphere, the North Star will be the same angle above the horizon as your latitude. Using a protractor, you align the sight line with the North Star, and then the degree that the horizon lines up with is your latitude. Ancient navigators sighted the North Star to determine their latitude, even in the middle of the ocean or in a trackless wilderness. Travelers were not able to just pull out their phone and find out where they were and where to go from there. The next time you have free time, put your phone in your pocket and look up to find your way.
Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us. Stay tuned to KUR for more Telescopic Topics. Telescopic Topics is a production of the KU Physical Sciences Department and is recorded by the KU astronomy students in the studios of KUR. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, as always, DJ Aaron B., joined by my co-host,
the esteemed Joshua Kaplan.
Yeah, sure. yeah.
Yeah.
But we have some topics to talk about the off-campus community here of the lovely, most agreeable town, Kutztown, Pennsylvania. But actually, I wanted to mention real quick that we have a game on Saturday, tomorrow, a Kutztown football game in Westchester against, I do believe they are also undefeated, Westchester. But Kutztown, the Golden Bears, they're going to go in there. They're going to be a cleanup crew. They're going to take them down.
Kutztown University Radio will have
play-by-play.
One of our sports coordinators, Jacob Leibowitz.
They're both going to be there.
Oh, are they? I thought Noah wasn't going.
I believe they'll both be there.
Jacob told me it was just going to be him.
But yeah, we'll have play-by-play here on KUR, whether it's one host or two. It'll be play-by-play, and it'll be right here on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. So make sure you check that out tomorrow during the game so you can hear all about our Golden Bears taking the Westchester. What are they, the Rams?
I think they're the Rams, yeah.
Something like that. They're going to take them down, though. So definitely.
The Golden Bears are going to win.
Yeah, the Golden Bears will win, so stay tuned. But Josh, we got some stuff to talk about. So, you know, I noticed we talk a lot about how we learn a lot what's going on in the community from the Facebook pages about the community.
The Concerned Kutztown Residents formerly, but now called This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things.
Yeah, we learn a lot in there. And one of the things we've seen a lot, I saw a couple residents talking about this the other day, and Josh and I thought a lot of people knew, but I guess not. But Spud's in town, the popular eatery that is famous for really good French fries that I can tear apart in minutes, quite frankly.
Yeah.
They're actually closed right now, and they've been closed all semester.
Since the summer, due to a plumbing catastrophe that occurred.
Yeah.
And there is a for sale sign on the window, but don't fret. That is just for the upstairs apartments. That is not for the restaurant itself. Spuds will be back.
Spuds is coming back, hopefully soon. I know they've been they've had like a pop-up like food vending like gig at a farm in Mertztown, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's how they've been conducting their business since they've had this poor, unfortunate event at their restaurant. But they are still doing like catering and everything, which is nice because Spuds is the best, and I want Spuds to come back. Spuds, come back into my life.
Come back.
Please. I need you. I don't want to give any more money to Domino's. I want to give it to you.
I'm tired of ordering Domino's almost daily.
But another topic that I wanted us to cover, probably our last topic. God, this show goes by fast. But that Canafest we've talked about it a couple times now. They just announced they're coming back.
They are. They're
already.
Coming back again already in a couple months.
In April, they're coming back. With this time, more with from what I could tell, it's a more food-oriented event, weirdly enough.
So you're saying they're coming back with a vengeance?
They're coming back with a vengeance, with a food vengeance.
A food vengeance.
They're touting over like 30 like local food vendors. They're encouraging like local restaurants in town to reach out to them for like discounted like food vendor admission and stuff like that. But I'm just shocked that I'm glad that their first event, if you don't remember, their first event was a couple weeks ago at the Renegers Farmers Market in town. And Josh and I went. We did talk about it here on the show. It was a good time. We had fun.
Yeah.
They had like educational seminars there. But this time it seems the festival seems like it's going to be a lot less about the plant cannabis and a lot more about eating food. And I guess that's a way to draw in more people.
That is something that everybody does, if I'm being honest, is eat food.
I guess not everyone in this world uses cannabis, but everyone in this world does need food.
Yeah, that is an important part of being around.
And so definitely, well, I'm going to check out that event again. This time for more food. I will be dropping dimes and on this kind of food. But Josh, We've reached about that end of the show, haven't we?
Yeah, but you know what I'm thinking about?
What are you thinking about?
There's a 50-50 chance tonight that the musical morgue will have a special episode. There's a
50-50 chance?
Yeah, it might not, but it might. It's a 50-50 chance. 50%.
I've heard 0.
You're wrong. It's a 50-50. Like, it's at this point, nobody's heard it yet. It could be a very, very important show, but it also could not be.
What time's the morgue at tonight, Josh?
6 to 7 tonight.
6 to 7. Make sure you guys listen to the morgue 6 to 7 tonight. Hey, make sure you listen to Happy Hour 5 to 6 on Monday and Undeclared 6 to 7 on Monday. That's where you find me and Josh outside of the show, if this is the only place you know us from. And if it is,
hear us more,
I'd like to sincerely apologize.
Yeah.
But you're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Kutztown Live. You can check it out on YouTube on Monday. And make sure you listen to next week's episode, Friday, 2 to 3.